In 1995, the lives of two young people intersected in the early days of the internet. 20-year-old Steven Pladl from New York and 15-year-old Alyssa Garcia from San Antonio, Texas. Despite the vast distance between them, nearly 2,000 miles, their online communication quickly evolved into a deep emotional connection. Driven by his feelings, Steven took a flight to Texas to meet Alyssa in person. Alyssa's family immediately disliked Steven and tried to end the relationship, but their attempts proved futile. Soon after, 16-year-old Alyssa became pregnant, and in November 1998, their daughter Denise was born. Following the birth of their child, Steven's personality underwent a dramatic transformation. He began showing signs of psychological abuse toward Alice and cruelty toward their young daughter. Alyssa recalled disturbing details of their life together. Steven would torture pets nearly to death, barely maintained contact with relatives, and avoided social interactions. He kept an impressive arsenal of weapons at home and couldn't hold down any job. Most shocking was his treatment of their daughter. He would leave bruises from pinching her and lock the child in a portable cooler. Despite these horrifying circumstances, Alyssa continued her relationship with Steven, and they eventually legalized their union through marriage. When Denise was 8 months old, the couple, citing financial difficulties, decided to put their daughter up for adoption, hoping this would give her a chance at a better life. It later came to light that Alice's decision to put her child up for adoption was driven less by financial hardship and more by fear of Steven's aggressive behavior. The baby was adopted by the Fusco family, Anthony and Kelly, who gave her a new name, Katie. They took her to Dutchess County, New York, where she would begin a fresh start. In her new family, Katie grew into a well-rounded teenager. She developed her creative talents through comic drawing, practiced vegetarianism, and had a special affection for animals. The girl had no trouble socializing, maintained a wide circle of friends, and had serious plans for her future. She dreamed of pursuing a college degree in digital advertising. However, fate had an unexpected turn in store for her. Like many adopted children, Katie felt a natural curiosity about her roots. Her adoptive parents had never hidden the fact of her adoption, which motivated her to start searching for her biological parents through social media. In 2016, her search proved successful. The 18-year-old high school graduate made contact with her biological mother Alyssa, who was 37, and father Steven, who had turned 42. Katie made an unexpected decision, to defer college for a year and spend that time with her biological parents. The Fusco family received this idea with concern. They worried not only about the gap year in her education but also about their daughter living with unfamiliar people. However, since Katie had reached legal age, they couldn't influence her decision. In August 2016, she packed her belongings and moved in with Alyssa and Steven. Steven and Alyssa continued their marriage, raising 2 more daughters. A decade after giving up Katie, they decided to try parenthood again. With a 5-year gap between them, the couple had 2 more girls. However, by the time Katie returned, Steven and Alyssa hardly resembled a happy family, if they ever were one. Their relationship was marked by frequent arguments and sleeping in separate rooms. Divorce was looming on the horizon. Alyssa complained about Steven's angry outbursts, his tendency to destroy furniture, and his habit of humiliating her in front of the children. When Katie returned, Alyssa shared stories about Steven's cruelty, including the cooler incident. However, Katie seemed unmoved by these revelations. By the time Katie arrived, Steven hadn't worked for several years, staying home with the children while Alyssa worked full-time to support the family. According to Alyssa, Katie's return significantly impacted Steven's behavior. He began paying more attention to his appearance, changed his hairstyle and beard, and started exercising. 6 weeks after Katie's arrival, the first disturbing incident occurred. Alyssa found Steven sleeping on the floor in Katie's room. Initially, she didn't think much of it, but after finding him there again, an argument erupted between the spouses. Steven defended himself by saying he wanted to spend more time with his eldest daughter, claiming they had a lot in common and got along well. In late 2016, Alyssa's life took an unexpected turn when she decided to end her marriage and planned to start anew with her daughters and Katie in a different home. However, Katie surprisingly announced her decision to stay with Steven, which didn't raise any suspicions for Alyssa at the time. Behind this decision lay a secret and unsavory connection. The shocking truth was revealed to Alyssa only 7 months after the divorce. Through her younger daughter's personal diary, she learned that Steven had asked his children to view Katie not as a sister, but as a stepmother or new mom. The same entries contained an admission about Katie's pregnancy by Steven. It was then that all the strange events of the past fell into place. The younger daughter had once caught her father kissing Katie and shared her distress in her diary. Katie's pregnant. Dad says they're a couple now. They got really drunk that night. My father is a monster, the girl wrote. The diary pages depicted the father as a devil, with the daughter expressing fear that this union would produce a demonic being. Alyssa immediately contacted Steven. "I thought you knew." "We love each other," was his response. Despite Alyssa's report to the police, no action was taken. In midsummer 2017, Steven and Katie secretly married, concealing their blood relation. The wedding ceremony took place in Maryland, attended by guests and the stunned parents of the newlyweds, who couldn't comprehend what was happening. Katie, however, declared her love for Steven, expressing her desire to marry him and revealing she was already pregnant. On September 1, 2017, the couple had a son named Bennett. But, as with his first wife, Steven's lifestyle didn't change after the child's birth. He remained unemployed, spending his days at home, which created tension in their relationship. Meanwhile, Alyssa's police report was investigated, and in late January 2018, Steven and Katie were arrested. They were released on bail under the condition of ceasing all contact. Custody of young Bennett was given to Steven's mother. The parents were allowed to visit the child but at different times to avoid meeting each other. After this, their lives diverged. Katie returned to New York to her adoptive family, who, despite everything, accepted and supported her. At home, Katie decided to cut all ties with Steven. She aimed to enroll in university, find a job, and regain custody of her son. Despite the police order, Katie decided to call Steven and inform him of her intention to divorce. This news triggered uncontrollable rage in Steven. He immediately contacted his mother, expressing his desire to spend time with Bennett at home. His mother, noticing his agitation, didn't object, believing his explanation about the impending divorce. She handed over her grandson to Steven, unaware of the looming tragedy that would unfold in just a few hours. After several hours alone with his son at home, Steven committed a monstrous crime. He suffocated little Bennett and concealed the body in a closet. Immediately following this horrific act, he got into his car and headed from North Carolina to New York, knowing about Katie and her adoptive father Tony's weekly tradition of visiting her grandmother on weekends. The elderly woman had a special bond with her adoptive granddaughter and eagerly anticipated each visit with her. On that fateful day, after their usual visit to grandmother's house, the unsuspecting father and daughter walked to their car. When they stopped at a stop sign on their way home, another vehicle suddenly appeared beside them. Behind the wheel was Steven, holding a firearm in his hand. A few quick shots ended both their lives. Immediately after the act, he called his mother and confessed to all the crimes he had committed.
My son just called me, and he told me he killed his baby, and he's in the house.
Okay, you said that he told you he killed his baby? Okay, ma'am, listen to me. What's your name? Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
He's not home. his wife broke up with him over the phone yesterday, and he told me, she's in New York, and he told me he was on his way. He called me last night and said he's on his way. He's going to bring the baby to her, and then he was coming back. And he just
Okay.
he killed his wife, he killed her father, and I can't even believe this is happening.
When police arrived at the scene, they made a horrific discovery. Little Bennett's body was found hidden in a closet. Despite law enforcement's swift response, they were unable to apprehend Steven. After calling his mother, he drove several miles down a deserted road, pulled over to the shoulder, and took his own life. As news of the tragedy spread, Steven Pladl's former attorney came forward with a statement. He spoke about his recent breakfast meeting with Steven, just a month prior, where nothing indicated such a terrible turn of events. The lawyer admitted being completely shocked by what happened. No one in Steven's circle could have imagined he was capable of such monstrous acts. The motives behind these brutal crimes may forever remain a mystery, but their consequences have left an indelible mark on countless lives. This case drew public attention to a phenomenon known as genetic sexual attraction, a hypothetical condition where blood relatives who grew up separately may develop romantic feelings upon meeting. However, the scientific community rejects this theory, considering it pseudoscientific and lacking any evidential basis. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and support the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.